LocalBozo.com is proud to have with us as our guest for an exclusive interview, Halestorm drummer Arejay Hale. Arejay, thanks so much for some time today, man.
How you doing? Thanks for taking the time.
Arejay, in October, the band released Reanimate 2.0. It's a 6-song EP of covers from AC/DC and Fleetwood Mac to Pat Benatar and Daft Punk. This is your second album of really eclectic covers. Talk about how the band settled on doing some cover albums and about how the band goes about selecting which songs to include.
Well, I mean, we kind of did it a lot of different ways. A couple of them were our songs that we were, well, not our songs, but songs that we really liked growing up, that we were influenced by. A couple songs that, the people that we work with kind of suggested that felt that would sound good. A couple fan picks, like we would ask our fans, like, what they would like to hear. So, it was a lot of different ways. The last time we did a cover EP, we did the same thing. It was, songs we really liked, songs that our manager would suggest, songs that our fans would suggest. With the last cover EP, our fans picked us to do, they selected for us to do Bad Romance by Lady Gaga, which was a real big challenge. So for this next one, I guess for songs like This Is an Aggressor and Shoot to Thrill and Hell's for Children, and we did a Ronnie James Dio cover, which isn't on the cover EP, but like songs like that are songs that we were kind of growing up on when we were starting to get into music, especially my sister and I. We really loved the classic rock, the classic metal. So that was like most of the selection for those songs. But other songs like Get Lucky or like Marilyn Manson's 1996, those were all songs that just kind of seemed like a challenge for us, and we kind of just wanted to see if we could do it, And me personally, I'm a huge fan of pop music. Like all I ever listen to is like, top 40 hits and like, pop songs. Like I do that a lot. Actually, part of that is kind of the songwriting exercise that I do, for, being able to, kind of keep in my brain, like, hit songs. The more you listen to pop music, the more you kind of are able to write pop songs or, old hit songs, I should say. So after listening to a lot of pop music for a couple months, Get Lucky was just like one of the songs that really blew up, and we thought, we loved it as a song, so we're like, that'd be a really fun one to try. So we did. Literally, we had 2 days off in between our South American tour and our U.S. tour. So we spent 2 days in Nashville. We went into Blackbird Studios, and we just knocked that one out. That was like the very last one that we did, after we already recorded everything else. So after we did that, it was just like, or I'd say when we went in the studio, it was just like, all right, well, let's just sit down and see what we come up with. And we just pretty much just sat down in like 10 minutes. We started working on, like, Joe had this riff, I had this beat, and we just started jamming on stuff. And that's kind of how we were able to write that one. So we're kind of selecting those songs. I really think that, for me personally, I like to have a wide range of different styles and different genres. I love having like the old classic rock and also like the more modern kind of heavy stuff like Marilyn Manson, and also kind of throwing a curveball in there and doing like a big pop disco song and see if we can turn it into a rock song. I think that the fans find it interesting and it's fun for us. So it's great for feeding the fans some music in between album cycles, and it's great also for us to challenge ourselves as players and as a band, and maybe somehow inspire some new music ideas for our original album.
Now, you touched on this a bit, but one of my favorite covers that the band did on the first Reanimate album was Lady Gaga's Bad Romance, which really just highlights so much of what the band does well. Before you cover a Lady Gaga or a Daft Punk, do you have any trepidation of being shunned by the hard rock community?
Well, we thought that when we were recording our first cover EP, and we had a list of songs on our website for fans to vote what song they wanted us to cover. And a lot of them were just like Slayer and Metallica and, like Led Zeppelin, stuff like that. And out of all the songs that we had on our website, Lady Gaga got the most votes. So it was our fans that picked that song. So like, well, if they all want us to do this song, then let's, all right, here we go, let's try it. So we did, and it actually is really great. I mean, I think a lot of our fans have such a wide range of listening, because I think the music we play has rock elements, pop elements, metal elements, So, we have a very wide range fan base, I feel, and which is good because we're not pigeonholed into any particular genre. So, when it comes to doing these pop songs, I think a lot of fans love it because, they can, appreciate a great pop song more if it has that rock feel, especially like the rock fans that we have, because like there's so many great pop songs out there, but there's a lot of our fans that do like the songs, but they hate, that kind of like fake synthy, like, kind of poppy sound. They want to hear more like crunchy guitars and some like real drums and, and just kind of like, headbang to it. So I think a lot of our fans actually liked it because they were able to appreciate these really good pop songs more if they had more like a rock vibe. So I think it was actually for the best,
You don't find too many successful bands where family members manage to coexist. I mean, even the Jonas Brothers have called it quits. What is it about your relationship with your sister Lzzy that's allowed the band to succeed when so many others have allowed, these internal rumblings to crumble a once promising project?
Well, Lzzy and I, we've never ever felt competitive with one another. We've always supported one another, even when I was, just a baby, and, she's 4 years older than me, so I was born and she was 4, and she was, kind of an embarrassing story, but she would kind of help my parents, with, raising me and, taking a bath, changing diapers and like feeding and everything. They were like the first, like, she was kind of like, she felt very, like when I was born into the world, she never ever felt like threatened or competitive, like her parents were giving me more attention than her or anything like that. So that's just the basics of the way that we're wired as people, is that we've never ever felt competitive with each other. The other thing too is, growing up, we didn't have a lot of money, so we, a lot of places that we lived were kind of like these, old houses in the middle of nowhere. We lived on this mountain for a couple of years, in this log cabin, this little shack, on this mountain in Pennsylvania. And we really didn't have any neighbors. We didn't really have anybody around us when we were growing up. So, I feel like when you're growing up as kids, you kind of start hanging out with your friends, hanging out with your neighbors, and you kind of drift apart as siblings and as friends. So since we really had no neighbors or anything, we were kind of forced to be friends with each other. And of course, when, our parents were really into music, our dad was a bass player. So, for Christmas, our parents, of course, got us like little instruments. They got Lzzy like a little keyboard. They got me a little drum set. And we set up our instruments in this big walk-in closet in this cabin and just started, jamming with each other. So I really feel like the music got us really close. But I see what you're saying. I know there's a lot of bands that have siblings that kind of feel competitive. They kind of like start to drift apart. They don't really like get along anymore, and they kind of start to resent each other. But really, it's never been the case with Lzzy and me yet. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll be like, I hate it that you always have Skittles on the counter of the bus. So that's like, after I quit, Okay, that probably won't ever happen. But but the cool thing is that like Lzzy and I were very close growing up. We were friends, and we really haven't changed at all. Like we still, on days off or when we're off tour, we still hang out with each other. We still, even as adults, we're still best friends. We're still partners in this band that we started. The bigger the band gets, the more, the more that the two of us are kind of like more like us against the world. That kind of mentality. So, the cool thing is that, me and her, like we're like the closest family that we have to each other. We don't have a lot of family. We don't have a lot of relatives. So, with all that, we're just, we've always been close, and I think we always will be.
I'm sure you've been asked this a million times already, but talk about what it's like to win a Grammy Award. I mean, you're nominated against the likes of Megadeth and Anthrax and Iron Maiden, and you walk out of there with the biggest accomplishment in the genre for the year. So what was that like to have won a Grammy for Best Hard Rock Metal Performance for Love Bites?
It was absolutely fucking nuts. Because we had no idea we were going to win. I think that, actually we heard this a couple times because we were so sure that we weren't going to win We had nothing prepared. You know, I had my money on like Lamb of God, or I mean, yeah, it was Lamb of God, Iron Maiden, Megadeth, Marilyn Manson, Anthrax, all these huge legends and bands that actually inspired us and actually directly inspired the song that we were nominated for. So we were just so sure we weren't going to win. You know, when they finally called our name, like we almost like didn't hear it. We're just like, wait, what do they say? What? And all like it took like a while for it to sink in. And then finally, just like, oh my God, we just fucking won this goddamn Grammy. And it was just, and my mom was there. She was just sobbing uncontrollably. My girlfriend was right next to me. She was like grabbing me and kissing me, and it was just like a really crazy moment. Like I think that I blacked out for most of it. Like walking down to that podium, I played in front of like hundreds of thousands of people in my career, but nothing has made me more terrified than having to get up on that podium and have to make a speech, which we didn't even have prepared. So on my way up to the podium, I'm going through my phone and I'm looking up my contacts. I'm like, oh shit, now I have to like thank people. So I'm going through my contacts. We forgot so many people. We just went up there. We were just like, oh my God, this is awesome. Thank you. And whatever. This is awesome. You know, it was really surreal and probably the most incredible thing that, you know, a band or a musician could ever receive, you know, is just, you know, it felt so, you know, we just felt so, you know, on top of the world, you know, and, also we've been doing this for like 16 years now this year. So it was just, it was kind of like that moment where we're like, okay, maybe we're not crazy for starting this band. Like maybe, you know, this was meant to be. And you know, and there's a reason that we wanted to do this. You know, it was absolutely nuts. It was so cool though.
RJ, anybody that knows Halestorm knows that they're a band with just a relentless tour schedule. With so many bands having a hard time filling seats, yours is headlining their biggest venues ever. Is the constant touring just such a necessary part of the deal these days because the music industry has changed so much, or is that just, you know, the fact that Halestorm loves being out on the road?
A little bit of both. I mean, we are the kind of band that we love to travel. We love to tour. We love to play shows. Our live show has always been like our pinnacle, you know, as a band, like our priority. And we even got signed off our live show for Atlantic. So yeah, the touring has always just kind of been a way of life. It's the way that we've always been since I was 10 years old. You know, I started this band when I was 10, and you know, now it's 16 years later, and the only life that we've ever known is the life of, you know, constantly traveling. You know. And I've gotten to the point in my life where I really do enjoy being home. I've got a nice apartment in LA. My girl lives with me, and her bandmates live with us. And it's a great situation. But yeah, if we're off the road for too long, you know, we're starting to get, you know, feel that itch. We're like itching to get back on the road. You know, we love the traveling. We love to get to see the world. Like we just went all over Europe. We did Spain, Portugal, Italy, you know, Germany, Switzerland, Sweden, UK. Like we went everywhere. And like the year earlier this year, we did, you know, Russia and Japan and Hawaii and Alaska, and it's absolutely awesome because most of the people that are my age, you know, I still know, like, you know, like people my age that haven't even, you know, gotten out of their own state. So we definitely do love the traveling, and yeah, you're right. The industry is changing, and you know, going out to a live rock concert, like luckily the show that we put on is very real, very raw, very high energy. I think that the people that come to a Halestorm show, they kind of feel the energy. They want to be part of it. So it's addicting, you know. So luckily, we have a place in this industry for, you know, playing shows, you know, putting on concerts, and you know, we don't have like a big production or anything, but the people come out to see us because they want to feel the energy. They want to be a part of it. It's a big thing that's, you know, bigger than anyone can even comprehend. Like, you know, you can't download a live concert like that feeling, you know, being at a real concert, seeing like real people up there sweating and playing, you know, real unfiltered rock and roll. So, you know, luckily that's, you know, there's still a place for that in the music industry, especially now. Like, you know, record sales are a thing of the past, you know, and you know, that's not how bands make money anymore. Now there's, you know, so many other avenues that you have to do, in order to make a living doing this. And, one of the biggest ones for bands is touring. So, it's how we make our living, and it's really the best job in the world because we absolutely love it. And we love every minute of it,
About 6 months or so ago, the band played a rockin' show with Bullet for My Valentine at Roseland as part of the Hard Drive Live tour. The band stops locally Friday, November 29th at Terminal 5, this time in New York, with support from Red Light King and Stars in Stereo. Coming up in nearby Pennsylvania, is it still special for Halestorm to perform in New York City, or is it just really another stop on the road?
Oh, yeah, New York City is really close to home. It's about 2 hours north of Philadelphia, 4 hours, northeast of York, Pennsylvania. Those are all kind of our stomping grounds. So, New York has a very special place in my heart. I absolutely love New York. It's like the best, it's so much fun. Even growing up as kids, like Lzzy and myself and our parents, we used to drive up to New York every Christmas. We get a room at the New Yorker, like a hotel suite. We get like a little tree. And it was just a really, New York just has a certain very special magic about the city, and every time we go up there, it just makes me feel, it's so exciting. There's always so much fun things going on. So, yeah, we used to go to New York as kids. It's pretty close to home. So, we used to just, drive right up there. Getting to play there is kind of like a little bit of like a hometown reunion. Like a lot of people, they'll drive in from Pennsylvania or from Delaware or from New Jersey or, New York State or even up north, because the Northeast is like a real great area for rock and roll. Like they still love their rock and their metal up there. Still a lot of great rock bands coming out of the Northeast. So, New York is just a great place. And it's also great for us because it's like a little reunion. Like we get to, hang out with everybody from our label and our management and our booking agent and, because everyone's kind of based up in New York. So it's fun. We get to go up there. We get to run all around. We get to see the guys from Sirius XM, see everybody at Atlantic, and we see everyone at Hard Drive and, all these people that really helped us out, or helped us out as we were working our way up. So, it's a cool little reunion. New York is kind of like second home for us.
Now, you've got some dates lined up through the end of the year. What can we expect from the band in 2014? Will you guys hit the road pretty hard, or can we expect the possibility of another album of new material by year's end?
Well, actually, right now the plan is we have another tour in late November, early December. We're doing a month-long headline run with this band called Red Light King and this other band called Stars in Stereo. Should be a really great tour. It's a great lineup. It'll be fun to end the year on a headline tour. But then, we're going to take the beginning of 2014 to like really buckle down and write, which is even more work for me than touring. With touring, it's you're in a different city every day. It's fun, it's cool, but we're going to be stuck in Nashville, and we have like a little band apartment there. We have a little band studio. We have a warehouse. So we're going to kind of like lock ourselves in the studio until we absolutely go crazy and just, just write our asses off. We're just going to all get together as a band, all four of us, and we're just going to, really focus on that. But I'm excited. I'm excited to write some new music. And hopefully we get a new album out next year at some point. And of course, once the new album is out, it's going to be for tour and tour some more. So get ready.
RJ, thanks so much for the time today. Is there anything left for the readers of localbozo.com?
Oh, I just want to thank you. I mean, I just want to thank everybody for their endless support. It's a dream. Of course, it's easy to sound. It is a dream come true for us to do this for a living. That's what we love to do. And thank you, everyone, for enabling us to do this and, for the support and for, sticking with us and for enjoying this music that we make as much as we do, and for showing us that we're not absolutely crazy, that there are other people that like it as much as we do. So, and thank you guys for taking the time to talk to me.
Fans, Reanimate 2.0, the brand new 6-song EP of cover songs by Halestorm, is available now wherever you buy your rock music. The band stops at New York City's Terminal 5 on Friday, November 29th, with support from Red Light King and Stars in Stereo, and tickets are available right now. And we've been chatting with Halestorm drummer Arejay Hale. Can't wait to see you in New York City, my friend. Best of luck as the year winds down.
Thank you.